Is it?
Right, Alison Norrington, tell us about Story Central Digital.
Story Central Digital is my blog that I set up initially to collate information that I was learning from my PhD, but it's actually turned out to be something quite more than that. It's just somewhere where I try to take everything I've learned from a particular subject and funnel it into something with context. It looks at new ways of storytelling, it looks at a lot of transmedia elements and cross-platform projects, and it takes elements from gaming, publishing, television, all the entertainment industries, and how all of them are utilising and using transmedia.
Fantastic. Now, you're a novelist yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You were writing fiction, and then you've done some experiments with cross-platform fiction yourself. Tell us about that.
I had 3 chick-lit books published, traditionally as paper books, and then I had to do my dissertation for my MA, and we'd learned how to do documentary and video and animation things and poetry, and I wanted to do all of them for my dissertation, which was kind of a bit of a big call. So I decided I'd take what I'd started to write as my 4th novel, which was called Staying Single, and I wrote that primarily as a blog. I thought it'd be really easy to cut and paste the chapters I'd written, and after 3 days I realised that was a ridiculous idea. 3,000 words on a computer screen make you want to slit your wrists, so it didn't work very well. So the whole thing had to change quickly, and I spent about 80 hours a week writing this as a transmedia fiction, very much in its infancy, using YouTube videos, user-generated content, forums, social media groups and communities,
and cards that you left in different places to get
cards
new
I left.
readers.
I had 3 business cards printed, and I left them in handbags and shoes in women's clothes shops.
Yeah.
I left them at airports, in toilets, and halfway through the story I was actually going on holiday to Spain and realised I had to write that into the story. So asked if people would like to receive a postcard from the character, and I had over 80 people ask for postcards. So I spent a huge chunk of my holiday money on postcards and stamps.
Fantastic. And also recently you've been doing all sorts of impressive things, talking at Tools of Change in New York, and involved in various different kind of gatherings of digital people. How are you finding all of that?
I really like it, actually. It's really good fun. I go there, really predominantly from the point of view of what I did with Staying Single, which I suppose really was quite innovative at the time. In a way, I was just too daft to realise what I was getting into, but it actually was quite successful. So I think publishers find it quite interesting to see what I've done from a complete perspective of having no money to fund anything. Yeah. All the platforms I used were free, YouTube and Blogger and Second Life, everything was totally free, and created quite a big community around the story.
Brilliant. And we've been talking about how it feels that publishers are stuck on sort of adding bits to something rather than creating something, or writers creating something which at birth involves different networks and platforms and things like that. Is that what you're feeling?
Definitely. There's a quite common expression now of things being built in and not bolt on, and I think anything where you have a story and you're adding elements in for the sake of it, or because you want to be doing the trendy new thing, is completely transparent, and if it's not relevant to the story or to the platform, then I think people will immediately feel they're being sold to. It's got to be written in organically from the start with relevance to the platform and the story. Which
is a really exciting challenge to a kind of new generation of writers.
Totally.
Who start assuming that they live in a kind of network multimedia world, and can now kind of make work that uses all of that.
Yeah, well, I think people are so connected now and so used to getting what they want at the press of a button, whether it's on their laptop or on their iPhone or their iPad. I think people now want the choice. People expect to have choice. Yeah. And I know the book will never die. People always love to read a book, but people do expect to be surprised, and they expect to be able to have the choice. And there's a lot of value to be got from giving people choice of how they receive their stories and where and when.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Cheers. Bye.
No.